welcome yet again to the Economic Times Cutting Chai Stories. Stories of interesting journeys, stories of success, stories of learnings and life lessons, stories of motivation and inspiration. Brought to you by ET Edge, these conversations give us a glimpse into the lives of achievers, their beginnings, their education and early life, the demands of their work, their leadership style, and much, much more. So look forward to gaining some great insights through this chat. It is said that a cup of tea is just an excuse to share great thoughts with great minds. And we are going to do just that in our conversation with our speaker today. So dear viewers, quickly grab your cup of the famous cutting chai and have a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, to share his life story today, we have with us Saurabh Chandra. Saurabh is co-founder and CTO, One Assist Consumer Solutions. He's responsible for all things technology, product, digital, engineering, and user experience. One Assist, as we know, is India's largest insurtech player in the new financial, device, and electronics protection space. So very warm welcome, Saurabh.
Thank you, Dipti. Thanks for having me here.
Absolutely, it's our pleasure. And we are very delighted to have you join us here at ET Cutting Chai Stories. So let's begin quickly. We'll start by talking about your early days. Could you take us through the early days? How were you as a child growing up? And a little bit about your family and friends.
Sure. So I'll start with my family. I was brought up in a town called Allahabad. I hope you're aware of Allahabad and you've heard about it.
Absolutely.
Okay, it has some great personalities to its fame. So I was brought up in Allahabad. My schooling there, my father is a lawyer. He still practices at the Allahabad High Court.
Okay.
And my mother is a housewife. I have an elder brother, an elder sister. Both live here in Delhi NCR. And my sister is a school teacher. My brother is he has his own business. Yeah. And yeah, about my school days, I have some fond memories of my childhood, and which was there's a bunch of us friends who were really a close gang, and we still are great friends. Grew up with them. We were good at studies. We were good at sports. So yeah, there are three or four of us who came together, and yeah, my family background, coming from a small town, we are a middle class family with great values of around honesty, integrity, hard work, like a typical middle class family.
Right. Well, that sounds great. And coming to your school days, any memorable, incident or any instances that you recall during your school days that have had an impact on you, or for that matter, while growing up, your family upbringing, etc. Any lessons that you have learned from your parents or from your school, which have stayed with you until today?
Oh yeah, see, there are many experiences that shape you as a child as you grow up, right? But speaking of something that had stayed with me is really the value of honesty and integrity in life, which I've learned from my father, and extreme from my mother. The values of always how regardless of the possessions that you have. So I think these are two things that have stayed with me in life, and even at this stage, I think these are the two lessons that drive me every day. That regardless of life is not about accumulation of assets or accumulation of money, but it's about seeking happiness in things you do, seeking happiness from the relationship that you have, and things like these, and not forgetting the values of honesty and integrity, regardless of how the situations are. So that is something which has always stayed with me and probably will stay with me forever. I hope to pass on this to my children as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they are great values to pass on to, children of the next generation. And for our viewers, right, at the beginning, they have had some great learnings from this one, honesty and integrity, two great values that are not talked about much, but very, very essential. Thank you so much for sharing that. And we move on to your higher education. So you went to college at St. Joseph's, Allahabad, if I'm not wrong.
That's right.
Okay, and then you did your BTech from IIT Kanpur, a great institution where you were part of the music club, cricket team, annual cultural festival, and you won the Best Undergraduate Project Award. And later on, you went to IIM Lucknow, where you were part of the PR magazine team. So take us through these experiences. I'm sure they were very enriching, and you, like you mentioned earlier, you were a bit of an all-rounder, so it sounds just about like that. So just quickly take us through these experiences.
Well, you really raced me down the memory lane by talking about the music club and the cricket at IIT. So yeah, I used to take a lot of part in these things, not by for any other reason, but these were innate interests. So cricket, like I think almost everybody in India plays cricket, and I was a little better at it than some of the other people. So I made it to the institute team. Went to IIT Bombay. I think one for very fond memory was to go to IIT Bombay in the inter IIT and win the gold medal in the
Wow.
cricket tournament there. Then music club was of course very very memorable and probably the closest to my heart. So we used to perform these musical extravaganzas, which was like a cultural night which used to happen every semester. So we would finish our classes during the day and then practice almost the entire night, and that was something. So time had no meaning then. Of course, when you're in college, time has little meaning, right? And you can live the life the way you want. So yeah, those are very fond memories. In fact, music is something which has stayed with me
Hmm.
even now, and even today I learn music. And you may not know, but I'm a qualified grade 4 classical guitarist from the Royal School of Music, London.
Yes. We came across that in your profile, and very, very commendable that is. Uh, just quickly wanted to ask you, how do you manage the time? But I think we'll come to that later. So great. Any instances that you recall during these days? Any, during your college days and while you were at IIT IM?
Especially at during my undergrad. Okay, see, when you make it to an institution like an IIT, you have a feeling that you're on top of the world, you're the best and all. But that feeling only lasts till your first quiz. And when you get a zero in a quiz, you are suddenly grounded. So what my undergrad education taught me was the right combination of both what I call ambition and pride and humility. Okay, so you have to understand that yeah, you might be good at something, but there are thousands of others who are much better than you. Okay, so I keep telling people that pride and ambition is like an accelerator in a car, and the humility is like the brake. It keeps the car under control. So I think my undergrad years had a profound impact on me on this aspect of my life.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And at this period, did you have any mentors or any particular role models? Maybe not around, at the institutes, but otherwise, like in life, did you have any mentors that you looked up to?
Yeah. See, I definitely look up to many people, and from various facets of life and history, and starting with my mother. My mother is a great role model for me because, like I mentioned, she's somebody who knows how to seek happiness regardless of the situation, right? So I think she's extremely spiritual in that sense, and so she's a role model for me. Another role model for me is Mahatma Gandhi, and because for what he achieved as a being a very ordinary citizen, right? Mahatma Gandhi was not a great lawyer or a barrister. He was pretty average. So, but what he did for the country in liberating the country from the British rule just shows that how with grit and hard work you can achieve the impossible. Another idol in my life, whom I aspire and respect a lot is Rahul Dravid. Rahul Dravid, such a talented, gifted cricketer, but who played in the shadow of somebody like Sachin Tendulkar. But he did everything which the team required him to do, starting from keeping the wickets in, excuse me, keeping the wickets in one-day internationals to opening the batting for the Test side in Pakistan when there was nobody else to open the side. So yeah, these are people who tell you that life will not always give you favorable situations, right? And if you stick to your character and if you keep working hard on what you are meant to do, success will come to you. Success recognition will come to you. So yeah, these are a few role models really for me, who mean a lot to me.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that with us. And quickly moving on to your professional life, your career. So before One Assist, you were with Citigroup, Standard Chartered Bank, and of course your venture with Qualtech Consultants. So tell us about your evolution, in your career.
My evolution. Okay. Well, my first job it was not so much about the job, but it was about the location. So my wife was then my girlfriend, and she was in Delhi, so I wanted a job in Delhi. And there was this company called the Associates, which was acquired by Citigroup, which used to be a very coveted job at IIT Kanpur. So I was lucky enough again to get this, and that's how I landed in the banking industry. I it was a but that first job, it really shaped me as a professional. It showed me the value of product, thinking product while being in technology. And so yeah, the first and I stayed in the job for 4.5 years, which is very unlike a lot of people. A lot of people don't stick to the first job for a long time, and especially in today's time, right? When talent is at such shortage, and there is and it's also priced. So I was there for a long time. Probably there were three of us who were picked up from the campus, and I lasted the longest there. And then the opportunity at Standard Chartered came along when somebody approached me saying that Stancy, as Standard Chartered is known as, is setting up a consumer finance business in India, and they're looking for someone to lead technology for them. And I thought that okay, this is an opportunity that doesn't come very easily to people. So I jumped at it. It was in Bombay. I went there. I was there for about a year, and that was the time when the subprime crisis and the issues, or rather the subprime lending kind of started blowing up in India. Okay, and so I realized that okay, the consumer finance probably will go through its own churn, and I went to City Singapore. So from working for an India business in City India to a startup in Stancy, then I went to a global role in Citigroup Singapore, where I was responsible for working for Citibank Japan, and we were implementing a huge system in many countries in Citigroup consumer banking. So the main learning out there in Singapore was about how do you work with cross cultural teams, how do you work on large projects, etc. And and then at the right time, after some time I felt that okay, I need to go for higher education. So I wanted to come back to India. We wanted to come back to India because a lot of action we felt can happen in India, and the consumerism was evolving, technology was taking shape. There were some new startups which were in the anvil. So I came to India, but I wanted to take a break from work, and I thought okay, a break from work and an MBA will be a great thing to do. That's how I landed it. I am Lucknow, and excuse me. And that 1 year was again a lot of fun. So was staying in the hostel, doing assignments on various subjects. It was great. And by the time I finished my course, I was very clear that I'm not seeking a job. I was very clear I wanted to do something where I can make a bigger impact than working for somebody else. And then I tried out entrepreneurship with a few friends. It was in software services, but software services were not my calling. So then One Assist happened, and it's been over 10 years here, a wonderful journey. We've grown through various stages of from starting a company to struggling to grow, to situations of crisis, again bouncing back and then scaling up. And now we have recently acquired a company. So yeah, it's been a wonderful and fulfilling experience, but lots to do still.
Absolutely. Miles to go before I sleep. And
I,
congratulations on the achievement, the recent one. And so, over the period of years, we'd like to know any specific learnings or success stories that you would like to share with our viewers in brief. Any high or low points in your career, and how did you react to them? Because I'm sure our viewers would like to know how a great leader reacts to any situation, be it a one which throws success at them or some failure. So, in other words, we're talking about your best and worst professional moments. Before you begin to answer, I'm going to mention to our viewers that we came across a long list of awards that you have received, and these awards, of course, speak of all your success stories. So, well, I've set the background for you now. You can speak more about that.
Well, thank you so much for mentioning that. But I keep saying that I believe that I've been lucky and fortunate to be in situations where these credentials came my way. Highs and lows. Well, see, there are many highs and lows, which in life, in career, every day. Uh, which one to recall? There's one again. I think there was in one of my jobs there was a bug in my code which resulted in incorrect financial reporting. Okay, and incorrect financial reporting on the books means a lot. It's a big thing. And this was when I was 3 or 4 years into my job. And when I discovered it, I remember I wept through the first hour of figuring out, because I was so naive. I thought that I'd caused the company a damage of 80 lakh rupees, whereas the truth was that, well, it was a bug in the code which had resulted in a wrong GL entry, which can be easily reversed. But I immediately informed my manager. We went and spoke to our technology head and CFO, and we told them about it. So yeah, and the lesson from that was that I learned the value of testing in my life. Again, I spoke about pride and humility. This again grounded me in life, and regardless of what one would think that one can achieve, I think there's nothing. There's always there's always a chance for you to learn. So this is one thing which has distinctly stayed with me. Okay, in terms of a low in my career, I would not call it a career low, but a learning from mistake. Rest, I think. Well, every day is a high. When you release a project, it's a high. When you launch a category, it's a high. I get my biggest highs when my consumer says that we have done something that has helped the consumer. So yeah, that's how I would like to put it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And we'll like to know a little bit about how you developed leadership traits over the years, and how do you lead your team, and where did you pick up your team skills? Before that, we have another question. What is it about your behavior that attracts people towards you? So I think we'll take this one first. And I'm going to help you a little over here. We came across a few comments from your colleagues, and this is what they had to say about you. I wish I can also be as cool as Saurabh is while handling challenges. And another gentleman said, Saurabh brings in fresh thinking and a balanced perspective to the role. So when they're speaking about balance and about you being cool and calm, I think I'd like to ask you, how are you so cool and calm? Do you practice meditation or yoga, or is it your music that helps you, or how do you manage all this?
I would like to know before I answer, where did you pick those from? How
Oh,
did you get in?
well, from your profile online.
Okay, is it all right? I never realized people are writing such kind things for me. But
Oh,
yeah, I
all
think
right. So I shall let you know where I found them later.
no, that's okay. Yeah. So see, I never thought about my behavior that would attract people. I really don't know. But one thing which I've always heard from people, and I'll again go back to my college and in my undergraduate, we have this tradition of writing a yearbook, and in yearbook you profile every person, write a few lines about your colleague, and typically somebody else writes for a colleague, for a friend. So I distinctly remember that there was a write up about me, and then it said, "But a great friend in times of need." Right. So possibly, and my wife tells me that I sometimes go out of my way to help people. So, and I believe that helping each other is the only way to live. So maybe my availability to people to always help them, maybe my honesty and transparency in my behavior, my care. I'm not sure, but yeah. On your point of cool, well, I have my moments when I lose my cool also. But over the years, I've learned that not every time things will happen the way you want them to.
Hmm.
Okay, you have to understand that there are external forces which are many a times out of control. Like we were just having this conversation and the light went away, right? Now, if the lights went off, you can either be irritated or say, fine, it was supposed to happen, and move on. So I think this comes with age,
Right.
possibly. But yeah, yeah, and I do meditate, like you asked. So yeah, I do that. Maybe that also helps.
All right. So absolutely. So I was right there. And well, thank you so much once again for sharing. I have to say, a lot of great insights here that you're sharing with all of viewers. Coming to your leadership traits and how you, manage your team. Anything else you'd like to add there? You spoke about perhaps people feel that you're approachable, that you're there for them, in times of when they need you. Anything else you'd like to mention that our viewers could take away?
Yeah, I think what I've learned over the years, Deepti, is that the most important leadership trait is listening.
Hmm.
Okay, one has to really listen to people, the team members, what they are saying. You ask the right questions, okay, to ensure that they know what they are talking, and then you give them the space to perform. Okay, and I think that is the leadership trait which has helped me the most. Of course, a big assumption there is that you hire talented people who care for the cause and who are hardworking and who have their minds and hearts at the right place. So yeah, I think this is one of the most important thing, and I believe that if you do this, assess them fairly and show them and give them the space, then as John Adams said, people will be willing to learn more, do more, be more, and that's what makes you a leader.
Absolutely. Well, some great thoughts there. And we'd like to know now about how do you invest in yourself to keep improving upon your skills, especially you're in technology. It's always changing. So how do you make sure that you, keep improving upon current skills?
That's a tough one. That's a really tough one, and I really struggle to do so because the changes in technology are mind-boggling. There is so much happening every day, and it's practically impossible to keep pace with. But what I try to do is put my markers on what do I want to learn, what is the next thing that I want to learn, and that helps me kind of keep an immediate next goal for myself. As somebody said that you dream in ambition, you dream in installments. So similarly, I learn in installments. So I would say, okay, this is a technology probably which is very new, which could be relevant for the company. So let me figure out what's happening. I discuss it with my team members. Things which I'm passionate about, I definitely prioritize them. It's not really a question of time. I think in life we always keep saying that how do you find the time? But really, it's a question of how do you prioritize things that you like. And once you do that, I think life will give you more time.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much once again for sharing that with us. Now, on a lighter note, let's talk about your hobbies and interests. What is it we figured about music and cricket. Tell us a little bit more about that and anything else that you like to do when you have spare time.
Yeah, music, as I said, I'm a big music aficionado, and I do practice my instrument regularly. I really want to continue to grow in that space because that space gives me a lot of peace and mental peace and satisfaction. So that's the only hobby probably that is left of me. I used to play cricket till 3 years ago, but now the body doesn't allow. So yeah, so I music is something which is very close to me. I don't know whether you'll call it a hobby, but I think focus on health, and I would like everybody to really be very take your health very sincerely. Okay, because that's the only thing which matters among everything else in life.
Absolutely. And COVID has taught us that indeed, how
COVID
essential
has
that
taught
is.
that, but still, I believe that people have forgotten about the lessons that that COVID taught us. So it's very important to prioritize your health. And by health, I mean both physical and mental health.
Hmm.
Both are important.
Absolutely. So how do you look after your health? You do yoga or apart from meditation, like
Yeah, a couple of things. I keep changing. So when I get bored with one, with something else, but yeah, I've definitely made it a point to do some activity in the day and in the morning. So one thing which I realized, to your point of how do you find time, I realized that the reason I'm not able to, there are instances when I'm not able to find time. So I realized that that's because I'm sleeping late. So one thing I promised myself about 2 months ago was that no matter what happens, I will hit the bed by 10.
hmm,
Okay. And once you start doing that, and the body is an amazing machine. Okay. If you sleep for 7 hours every day, if I sleep at 10, I wake up at 5. And if I can wake up at 5:30 in the morning, I have full 2 hours before rest of the house home wakes up. Yeah. And so you find time for things that you want to do. Yeah, if you're binge watching your favorite show till 12, 1 in the morning, then you of course can't wake up, you can't prioritize, which means you have not prioritized what you wanted to do. So
Absolutely. I think that is something that a lot of us are guilty of, and I'm sure our viewers would love to, gather from your experience. All right, and we now move on to uh, a little philosophy here. We'd like you to think: do you have any regrets about, your professional journey? Anything that you feel that you missed out in this professional journey?
anything I missed out? Well, there could be so many things, and there could be nothing. Well, let's see. No, but on a serious note, I'm pretty happy with what life has given me.
Hmm.
Okay, I have a wonderful family, a wonderful life partner, and we are. I consider that we are really lucky to have what we have. Very lucky that we're all healthy. We're doing well in life. So no regrets there. Not at all. No regrets.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. And finally, do you want to leave our viewers with any words of wisdom, especially for the viewers who are probably at the start of their careers, perhaps who would want to follow your path? So any quick tips that you'd like to give them, or any message that you would like to share with them?
Of course, of course. For people who are young, who are starting their careers, I think you guys are at a time when everything is available to you. So do not worry and just follow your passion. And people talk about working hard. I would say work joyfully, do what you want to do, and stay grounded. And life will reward you.
Absolutely. And well, on that note, it has been great talking to you. And now we move on to our
Thank you.
rapid fire, the fun segment as we promised you, and we'll make sure that it's quick. So this one we'll try and not give you enough time. So if you can, think fast and tell us the answers. So here it is. Are you ready?
I'll answer without thinking. They said whatever you answer without thinking is the right answer. So let me
All right.
see. I'm ready.
Okay. So just want to know a little bit more about you. Your favorite city?
London.
Sorry,
London.
London. Okay. Your favorite food item?
Chicken biryani.
Okay. If you had some free time, what would you choose? A good book, a good movie, or good music?
Good music.
Okay. If a genie appeared before you, what wish would you want to be granted?
Ah, what will I ask the genie? I have everything by God's grace. What will I ask the genie?
Wow.
Maybe give me some hair.
Okay. Well, appearances, absolutely. We all want to work at that. Planning your life or going with the flow? What is your choice?
A
What do you
combination of
follow?
both.
Do you plan your life or do you go with the flow?
A combination of both.
Combination, right. All right. So thank you so much indeed for sharing your life and the path that you took with all our viewers, and indeed a lot of learning for those watching right now. Well, we also have with us Mr. Aditya Agarwal, Head Large Enterprise Lenovo India. Aditya brings with him many years of diverse experience in technology marketing. He has deep expertise in the whole gamut of IT marketing, product management, marketing strategy, marketing management, lead generation, digital marketing, and much, much more. So, hello, Aditya. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Absolutely great. It looks like a great day. And well, Aditya, you heard Saurabh speak, and what a great conversation that was.
Yes,
So,
it was music to my ears. Pun intended.
absolutely. Well said there, well said. And well, now both of you have so much experience, and I do have a question for the both of you, and it would be interesting to see both experienced leaders share their views on the same. So I'm going to put forth the question first to Saurabh. So Saurabh, according to you, what are the top IT challenges that you foresee going forward?
Well, couple of important IT challenge, big IT challenges. I think the biggest one right now is how do you attract talent, retain talent. Okay, that's the biggest challenge. And with this work from anywhere, how are you going to grapple with the cultural challenge, which is going to become bigger with time?
Hmm.
Okay, so these two, I would say, are the biggest challenge which people will begin to face in the coming quarters. Okay, I think on the technology, on the hard challenges of technology, those they keep coming up. Technology keeps changing. We all keep adapting. 10 years ago, nobody was talking about big data, AI, ML. all of that came through, and I think we all adjusted ourselves, upskilled ourselves to those. So for me, the hard challenges of new technology is not so much an issue as these softer challenges of talent management and culture are.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your viewpoint with us. And now the same question to you, Aditya. What are the top IT challenges that you foresee going forward?
Yep. In fact, sort of use that word, which is work from anywhere, right? Because now people are saying that, hey, I don't want to work from home or office. I want to work from a coffee shop. In office, I want to work from here, right? So that does bring a lot of challenges, especially we as a device and solutions company, we think about what kind of security challenges it could bring, what kind of device usability challenges, right? Your battery needs to last that long. But the biggest one that I see and a lot of our customers talk about is security. And in security also, I don't know if Saurabh would agree with me. I think people are trying to find a balance of user experience and this level of security, right? Because you can get a Alcatraz kind of experience by saying nothing is allowed, right? But then people, start leaving or they start complaining, and this kind of works on the whole hiring and retention of key employees also, right? Because the industry has been, facing that challenge. So I believe that getting that balance right is a big challenge that I often see, companies talk about. But yeah, apart from that human challenge of how do we get back to hybrid, how much of office, how much at home, how much of somewhere else, I think these are, some challenges that we as a device and solutions company keep thinking about.
Absolutely. So very well said, Aditya. Thank you so much. And gentlemen, thank you so much, both of you, for sharing your thoughts. And to all our viewers who are enjoying this conversation, there's still more coming up. Stay tuned. But we will be back with many more stories. This is the Economic Times Cutting Chai Story.